Today's episode, Plumbers of Data Science episode, is about data science jobs. Everybody thinks data scientist equals data science equals data scientist, but there are actually many more jobs. And today we're going to look into what jobs are there, what are they doing, and bear with me. This is not a 100%. Once you're a data scientist, you're locked into the data science or data scientist topic. You're going to see what I mean. Just follow me here through with this, and then let's have a discussion about it. I'm curious what you think. So let's see. Let me just show you what I have prepared. I already have prepared a quick overview of the jobs. Basically, what you can do is you can, in my opinion, that's always my opinion. Many people have different opinions. You can make a distinction between analytics, and you make a distinction between computer science. Traditionally, analytics, it's the data scientist. It's what everybody conceives as data science, is machine learning, and so on. And where I'm coming from the right side here. I'm coming from the computer science side. I'm coming from the data engineer side. So the data scientist is doing analytics. Data engineer is doing a lot of pipeline work, a lot of basically managing data through this. So what else is there? What else can we see? What we can see here is I'm in the wrong on the wrong keyboard. No, I'm always fighting with the keyboards because man, I have to switch between. Is it back? Come on. Let's improvise. So we have the data scientist here. Actually, I had this already here. Data scientist. Then what we are going to see is that we are going to have here the data analyst. This is the guy who is working a lot with tools like Tableau, or with light analytics, not hardcore machine learning, and so on. And then what we also have is maybe that's the okay. It's working again. One thing that came in the comments of the post that I did, that I'm doing this video, data science or scientist, research scientist was it? Research scientist. This should be the guy. Let's say the data scientist is using algorithms that he's just using them. He's not creating new algorithms. The research scientist is the one basically looking to create new algorithms, and being not that into production systems, he's doing a lot of research, and he's in the background. He's basically starting the whole thing. It's like the guy who has some automated driving task, and he's trying to find new ways to actually work on this. So this guy is creating papers. The analyst is more towards business. The scientist is using the research scientist's algorithms. Then another job that I have on this side is machine learning engineer. This is the guy who is doing automation, who is working on analytics automation, on machine learning automation. And he's working. He's basically the data scientist is creating the methods, and then the machine learning engineer is bringing it into production, and he's working together. Now, don't get confused here. These are not hard 100% jobs. You can you can be a data scientist, you can be a machine learning engineer, and so on. But we're going to come to this in a second. So hi everybody. Welcome to this stream again. This is quickly to recap for everybody who has joined. This is a quick overview of data science jobs, because many people think it's only data scientist. And so analytics and computer science. Now, when you look at the hi Gustavo, when you look at the computer science side, where I'm coming from, the obvious one is the data engineer. The other one would be the platform architect. So the data engineer is creating pipelines to manage data, to basically ingest data and then bring it to storage and then make it available to analytics, to this side. And then once this side is, the analytics side is coming to a answer or a result, then the computer science, the data engineer guy is going to bring this into production, or not into production, bring this to the user. So we have platform architect who is working basically the whole who is working on the whole platform. He's working on concepts. What tools do we need here? What tools do we need here? How could we solve certain problems, and so on. So he's more in charge of everything, or has the whole platform in view. That's also where I'm working on. So then what you also have is the let's say the IT guy. It's hard. I don't have a 100% answer of how to name this person here. This is your IT staff, your computer science staff. These are the ones who are running the servers, who are running your tools, who are in charge of production of your platform, making sure all your tools that the data scientist is using, that the data engineer using, like Spark or Kafka or something, or a NoSQL database, that all this is running. And so these people are in charge of they know that around with SQL databases and NoSQL databases, how to set them up, how to configure them, how to run them, and so on. So now this all looks like, wow, okay, we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 jobs here. It's insane. Or people say, I'm a data scientist, but I'm also doing data engineering work. Yes. This is the whole point here. You can have skills in different sectors. So it's not like here's a boundary in the middle, or it's not like these are you cannot go between these. That is absolutely not the case, and that doesn't make sense. I'd say once it also depends on the scale of your project that you're running. If you're small, a lot of people are doing a lot of jobs, but once you get better, you have to compartmentalize to have specialists for stuff. So take me for instance. What I'm working on, or where I'm good is at I'm data engineering, so building pipelines and working let's say building pipelines with Spark, with Kafka, and so on. What is also my main thing is platform architecture. So I'm in charge of the platforms. I'm deciding where are the tools, where's the tool roadmap, and where are we going. Okay, so and then I'm going to dot this line. I'm also I would say I have the basics here of a data scientist, or understand. Okay, so these here are, let's say these are the core. And then basics here. And absolutely nothing here. A bit here. And for instance here, analyst, basics. So you can see where this is going. This is not 100%. The path isn't 100%, and this is why people have problems on finding data scientist positions, because data scientists can be everything. Data scientists or can have a lot of not a lot of different areas that he's going to work in, or he has a very narrow region where he's going to work in. So people need to understand this. Let's say the data scientist, you have a research scientist here. He's working on the mathematical backgrounds. He's working on creating new algorithms and so on. What he's not going to be interested in is in automating of analytics. He is not he's not very interested in business analytics. Let's say no. He might be interested here. So this is one of his core things. This, no, this, no, this, no. You see? Or this guy is coming from the computer science side, and he has started out as a IT guy, then he maybe has this as well. So he has this connection. And this is always what you have to keep in mind. And this is always what you have to keep in mind. This is always something where people say, well, I'm doing data engineering. Of course, because you may be a data scientist here, but you're also doing data engineering work. You're also building pipelines because your team isn't big, or because this is how your company is working. So be it. This is absolutely okay. Or you may have a company who is saying, I don't have data scientists, I have data engineers, but the engineers are doing data scientist work. This is also possible. Because the data engineer is doing machine learning and or natural language processing or whatever. And so you have these jobs who are working in different areas, and it's absolutely okay. And for me, this is the most important thing, that people understand that the jobs are very, very versatile, and it's not like a data engineer is only a data engineer. He's not a platform architect, or a data scientist cannot be a machine learning engineer. This can also be true. You have a data scientist who can build models and so on. This is his main area, but he can also be working on the side or secondary. He can also work secondary on machine learning automation as a machine learning engineer. This is possible, but what you're going to see in the projects are these jobs. You're going to see these 7 jobs. Maybe there's one more or two. You're going to see them, and yeah, maybe one guy is doing everything, or you have two people who are doing this stuff. Let's say you could have one person who is doing this, and one person who is doing, let's say you have one who is doing this, one who is doing this. Can be possible if you're in a early phase of a project. Absolutely possible. Or you don't have research scientists. You don't need to do business analytics. You only focus on these here. Absolutely possible. Then you have two people, a data scientist and machine learning engineer, and you have a data engineer, platform architect, IT guy, who can select tools as a platform architect. Select tools. Who can set up and configure. Set up, configure, and run. And you have a data engineer who can build pipelines. Pipeline, store, and process. Let's call it this. So it's all possible and very, very, I think very clear. For me, it's very clear. And that's why I don't attack people who are saying I'm doing everything and I'm doing both. There was a time when I said you can be either a good data scientist or a good data engineer. As you can see, I learned over the time that doesn't make sense. You can have a combination of these jobs, and that's why it's totally okay. You need to find out during job search or while listening to you, what is it that you're working in or that you're interested in. What's your specialty in all this? The first thing is always, are you more interested in the computer science or are you more interested in analytics? This is always one of the first questions I would ask myself. I answered this for myself. I'm definitely on the right side of this, but it's perfectly good if you say, okay, maybe I'm a data engineer, or but what I love is I also love to analyze data and try to add business value from it, and find out find out how people are using my platform and make log analytics. Then maybe you need the data analyst skill here, and then you have a data engineer who can do data analytics or data analyst things. Perfectly fine, perfectly possible. Absolutely normal. Absolutely normal. And it's also another thing. Another thing is people always think that I have heard a lot. You start as a data engineer, and then you graduate into a data scientist role. So this is the bigger role. Absolutely no. Or get a job as a data analyst, and then you can become a data scientist. Why? That doesn't make sense. That doesn't make sense to me. What do you think? I understand a lot of people are here, so let me know what you think while I'm taking a sip here. Felipe. Oh, okay. Now the stuff is coming in. Felipe says people think any step further to data science is an upgrade because of the salary mainly. People are always looking at the salary. It always depends on is this something that you like and that you want to go for. You can be a SQL database admin, and if that is absolutely fun to you, and then that's it. What good is a data scientist position where you're doing or a research scientist position that you hate? It absolutely makes no sense. Of course, right now there's this data science hype, and people think they get paid a big amount of money everywhere, but yeah. Rashmi says, or Gautam says, I worked as a data engineer and over the time worked as data analyst, project manager, and business analyst. You see, these are, data analyst here, data and let's write this down here. So data engineer, data analyst, project manager, business analyst. I would say business analyst. So data and business. And then you had the, let's say, a management role. You see? These are not fixed positions, and he's not only been a data engineer and locked into this data engineer and never doing anything else. Thanks. Very, very, very good. Good example. Gustavo says, what I think if get a good grasp of programming and start doing analytics, you might be able to change into data science. If you get a good grasp of programming and start doing analytics, well, that's already the thing. See, you don't need analytics to go into data science. That's what I'm talking about here. What you definitely need is coding. You definitely need coding for data science. It doesn't matter where. You as a data scientist, you need to create the machine learning models and everything. So you need coding here. Data analyst, if you're working with BI tools, may not, but usually a lot of people are working with Python today, so they're doing workbooks and so on, and in Jupyter. So there, research scientist, definitely. Machine learning engineer, yes. Data engineer, you need coding. Platform architect, okay, he doesn't need coding. Let's put this in brackets. And the IT guy, maybe also not. So these coding. So these people here all need coding. It's all coding. You see? So that's a good point. But you don't need analytics. You don't need doing analytics for this, because if you're here, you don't need analytics. You don't need necessarily analytics. It's good to have a basic knowledge of how this stuff works, but I mean, let's say you're working with NoSQL databases, you're a NoSQL database engineer, or working with maintaining NoSQL databases, then you're already working in data science, and with I don't really like anymore the big data word, but you're working with these tools. You're in the data science field, but you're not an analytics guy. You can be absolutely comfortably working in data science and be over here on the right. It's also very, very simple. Edim says, I'm from Nigeria. Where can I get online schools for machine learning? Everywhere. I mean, look at some like something like Udemy or Coursera. Very simple. I think Udemy courses are, or even Coursera is not that expensive anymore. Get the basics, start a project, try working on it, use Google, and then you can have your project. Be aware, as again, machine learning isn't everything. It is not everything. If you want to get into data scientist role, very often you have the combination machine learning engineer, data scientist. This is very often a combination, or research scientist. Usually I would say the research scientist, this is a PhD job. So this because this is very, very highly math oriented and another comment, I recommend Udemy as they're affordable. Right, Udemy is $10 or something, 10, 20, depending on what sales they're running. But yeah, Udemy is a good starting point, but take it as a starting point. You need to take it as a starting point, and then do a project, do something that interests you, or something that somebody has done, and replicate what they have done. You need practice work, not just a course. Yeah. Okay. I would say that's it. Half an hour. Was great talking to you. I'm going to be here again on Wednesday. My usual streaming schedule is Wednesday and Monday, Wednesday, and Thursday, Germany time, 10:30 p.m. If you want to, if you like this one and you want to support what you like, please check out my Patreon. You can support me on Patreon, or you can send me a PayPal with something that you find very, very important. And I'm going to read this in the next live stream. And on YouTube, you can send me a super chat or check out my Amazon store. So I'm using this to get some affiliate points, affiliate support. Everything goes into this channel here. And yeah, thanks a lot. AndreasKretz.com, or you can write plumbersofdatascience.com. You can also go there. There was one more question. What do you think are the basic skills to have for a new graduate to become a data engineer, especially that is tools oriented, Kafka and Spark? So the main thing for a that's the last question, or not, depending on how much comes. So let me just the main thing is coding. The main thing is learning a coding language. Data engineer, it's I would say if you're looking into Spark and Kafka, Scala, then you need Scala and Python. With Spark you can also code Python. So I would maybe look into Python, and get into this. What I always recommend, I can show you what I always recommend, that how I would start. If you haven't seen my cookbook, I have wrote in my data engineering cookbook, in the introduction, I have my data science platform blueprint. Here it is. So what I always recommend is, when you start out and when you become a data engineer, when you want to become a data engineer, what you should do is, there are these different areas of focus: connect, how to get data in, buffer, with message queues like Kafka, processing frameworks, and so on, storage with NoSQL and SQL database and visualization. And I would say start and find out what you like here. Which tools do you find interesting? And then get into them, check them out, test them out, set up a Docker instance, run it, and then search specifically for jobs aiming to find who use these tools. Yeah, it doesn't make sense to just focus on using Python and working with Kafka. That's a bit that's not that much, but start with get a complete overview, or so that you could build a pipeline with the tools that are interesting or that are very hip right now. Like you can create an API, you can work with work with Kafka, with Spark, with MongoDB or whatever, and create another API here, or with a dashboard like Grafana, and try to build a pipeline through this, so with tools of interest that interests you, and you will find your path and you will find a job in that. So these are the main skills: coding, and then a strategic look into tools. So it doesn't make sense to start with 10 NoSQL databases and learn all them. No, don't go broad. Don't go wide. Go very, very narrow in your learning experience. Yeah. I hope, Malik, this was a interesting answer. This made your question, answered your question. We only have music. That's interesting. I'm from the US, he says, and would like to become a data engineer. I have business and data analytics experience. Are there data engineering internships in Germany? Do you know of resources? I don't know. I'm right now not in the recruiter market. Also having German and probably at the beginning of A2 level. What we only have music. Please write me a mail. A mail at andreask@gmail.com. I may get back to you with something. But for German interns, mostly in bigger companies, you need to be a student at a university and have I don't know how this works, a work visa or something. But send me a mail at Andreas K. I'm going to write it in the chat. I may have something coming. Yeah. Okay. That's it for today. Thanks for being here. Now I think we finish before another answer comes in. If something comes in, no problem. But otherwise, we are going to see each other on Wednesday. I have something prepared for Wednesday already. It will be interesting. The recording, if you're watching on LinkedIn, the recording of this will be online on LinkedIn. You may not find it on LinkedIn, but all the other recordings of the previous 118 episodes you can find on my YouTube channel, plumbersofdatascience.com, or just go to my website, andreaskretz.com or plumbersofdatascience.com. You are going to find it or just type my name, Andreas Kretz, in YouTube. If not, we are seeing each other here on Wednesday on LinkedIn and on YouTube again. Bye-bye. Have a great day. And I'm now going to edit this. Bye-bye.